Vermin survive by finding secret nesting holes and reproducing very quickly. A lower echelon soldier in the Russian mob, Sergei Antipin, thrived in the grubby underbelly of an international syndicate that victimized the vulnerable and the poor in the back rooms and desperate places of the heart. When the zombie plague came, he made zombie aid, pulling the teeth from recently undead women and selling them for sex along with the living. As long as the meat was relatively fresh, Sergei figured a fuckhole was a fuckhole. He even opened a dive bar next door. The dead had risen. Who wouldn't want a drink? It was Sergei's observation that in troubled times, people crave kinky sex. He provided it for a price. He was completely unsurprised when the good citizens of Lawton found their way to his door, despite the danger of the streets. What he didn't anticipate was one of his clients leading the hungry undead to the brothel. 3 of the zombies got past the door before anyone knew what was happening. It took close, wet work to kill them, and Anatoly was bitten. The rest of the undead bottlenecked in the narrow staircase. Sergei picked them off, then dispensed Anatoly. Looking at his dead partner, he shrugged. More profit for him. Sergei had to clear out the bodies and mop up the mess before checking on his stable. 3 escapees, 1 whore, and the children. Unacceptable. He could have sold the little girl easy twice more as a virgin with a little fake blood and putty. The boy was worth a small fortune. Only 1 kidney had been harvested, and he checked out disease-free. At least Sergei had papers stating as much from a doctor. The whore of Bibe was near the end of her use. Let her die on the streets. But the children, they were valuable property. He would find them. 2 afternoons later it rained, and the infernal undead lingered on his street. The rain didn't deter them, dumb as turkeys drowning themselves. Sergei skulked in his empty bar, boots hiked on a rickety table, idly wondering about methods to discourage the undead's company. They had a dampening effect on attendance at his establishment. Adding up the damage, Sergei reflected that he had only 5 chattels left in his stall, 3 undead, and 2 living females he'd broken, and who now worked for drugs. In addition to reacquiring the children, he would have to add to his stock. In these days of chaos, that would be simple. He lifted his glass of vodka, draining the clear fluid. Yes, time to hunt. Unexpectedly, the bar door opened. Something was wrong. The system was wired to alert him if anyone entered the building, but no alarm had sounded. A svelte figure leaned a hip on the doorframe, perusing the room. When she entered, Sergei was mildly surprised. An attractive woman, her features an intriguing mixture of Caucasian light and Oriental gold. Brown hair straight and shining as a waterfall, dark amber eyes, petal-delicate skin. What would such a woman want here, risking the undead? Something unusual, perhaps. Something clandestine she wished to hide. His jaws cracked in a jackal smile. Before he could stand, she made her way over to him, graceful and sinuous, boyishly narrow hips almost teasing in their rhythmic ebb and flow. Melting into a chair, she flicked a long leg up and hooked her ankle over his. Her veiled eyes smoldered, drew him boldly in, kept him distant. Sergei labored to control his reaction. Normally he would not allow any woman this sort of presumption. But this woman, she had an allure to her, a difference that caught him, excited him, and forgotten ways. Reminded him of a dim room long ago, a memory in gray. A boy beneath him, sweating, his legs locked around Sergei. He'd wanted to touch the boy tenderly, exploratively. Instead, he pounded the boy's hips, punishing and eradicating the soft feelings. When the boy tried to kiss Sergei, he punched him, leaving him a weeping shadow as he plunged out into the street looking for a fight. Sergei's sexual repression was pathological. He stomped gay men in the alleys of Moscow, flaunting Nazi insignia and garish white power tattoos to proclaim that he, Sergei Antipin, was a proud and manly son of the motherland, of the true Russia of Putin and Stalin. But sometimes he remembered the boy. Sergei was gripped by a sudden, alarming suspicion about his guest. Narrowing his eyes, he looked her rudely up and down, and in one fast motion he tried to ram his fingers into her crotch. But she caught his wrist and waggled a finger. "Now, Sergei, I've only just arrived. You haven't even bought me a drink." "Are you a faggot? Get your hand off me." She did not release his wrist. Her grip was quite strong and skilled. "I'm a happy, snappy dyke, honey. Are you a faggot?" She leaned forward, spearing his muddy eyes with her amber ones, a hidden smile in their smoky depths. "Where is Anatoly, Sergei? I want to make you both a proposition." "He's dead. How do you know my name?" She released him and sat back. "Your patrons recommended you, my dear." "Of course. Are you Russian, Sergei? My mother's grandparents came from Kiev, a part of the empire then, you know. They were very proud of their heritage. The music, literature, ballet. And Ukraine will be Russia's again." He rubbed his wrist, angered but still intrigued. "If they were so proud, why did they desert the motherland?" "They were Jews." The woman tilted her head and sighed melodramatically. "People much like you drove them out, I imagine." Sergei sneered, a slant eye and a kike. "Belad, fuck her charms." "What's your proposition, lady?" A heavy metal barrel nudged his crotch. He heard the click of a sawed-off shotgun trigger load. "Justice, Bashit, from all us queer Jews, for all the people you've destroyed." Nicky blew out his groin, and 2 fast taps she shot off his hands as well, pulverizing them into shredded grist. Sergei crashed to the floor, shrieking, senseless with pain. Lifting him by the collar, she lugged him to the grubby brothel, where 2 undead women lay tied to cots, spread-eagled. Their mouths were crudely sewn shut with barbed wire, their heads tied back with rough cords angled to prevent biting. A 3rd undead woman was similarly trussed, and another tiny room on a filthy mattress. The room stunk of unwashed sex and low-tide rot.